Okay, welcome to programming session on structures, unions and bit fields. We'll start discussing. Maybe we'll try to divide it into two parts at least because they may consume some time. I want to split. Okay, whatever may be the case, let us start. What is this structure, union and bit field? How to declare them? How to access? How to manipulate the content? So those things we are going to discuss in this session. So hash include stdio.h main. Let us first create a structure. Say struct say student. This is one way of creating. We discussed the different ways. Okay. Say integer roll number. Say char name of some 20 characters, and then float say marks. So you can create a structure like this. You can put semicolon, and then you can create member variables. Yes, using this syntax struct again, the name of the structure that we have used student, and say s1. If you want two or more, you can declare separated by commas. Okay, now we have created a structure. We did nothing. We have just created a structure. Let us first determine the size of the structure. The size of the structure is say percentage d. So size of operator, we will use size of operator. It is actually called as operator even though it is a function. Size of say s1. Now what should be printed? If I execute? What should be printed if I execute? Say let us call it as ex17.c. So we discussed one concept. The size of the structure is sum of the sizes of individual fields. If say roll number is 4, I think in this system, in this compiler, the size of the roll integer is 4. So 4 plus 20, because char is 1 by 20 into 1, that is 20. 4 plus 20, 24. And float is also again 4. So it should come as 28. Let us check. Let us build it first. Any errors? Okay, no errors. Execute. Okay, you are getting 28. Perfect. So size of the structure is nothing but the sum of its fields. Size of the structure is nothing but sum of the fields. It is 28. In this case. So you can create like this, or we discussed. So you can write here itself. S1, S2 say. We can do like this also. So here you can see it is also working in this case also. Maybe if you have only 2 or more structure variables to be created, it's better you go like this. When you have large number of variables at different points, you want to create the structure variables, then the previous way of creating the structure you can follow. Okay. In most of the cases, probably you can follow like this. Size of the structure. Now suppose this is union. Let us say this is union. Union declaration is similar to that of structure. No difference. Union student. Okay. So the only thing is you have changed it to union. Now what is it? What you are going to get? Guess. So 424. So we discussed that it is the maximum of all the fields, maximum among all the fields. So what is the maximum? 20 is the maximum because this is 4, roll number is 4, marks is 4. So that's why 20 is the maximum. Let us check, build it and then execute it. So here you can see, so the size of the structure, actually it is union. The size of the structure is 20. Size of the structure is 20. Here you can, if you want, you can change it, union. Okay, size of the union. It has no effect actually. So size of the union is 20. So the size of the union is the size of the maximum field. Okay. Now let us go back. I hope you got the point. This is illustration of the theory. So we will again go back. Here we are not interested in this one. Let me remove it. So what we are going to do is we are going to assign some values. And print them. How do you assign the values? You can assign the values like this: s1 dot roll number using dot operator is equal to, say, some 101. Okay. Name equal to some Chenna. Okay. We can use blanks also. There are some issues with the blanks. We will discuss along with the strings. So I can write Chenna followed by space. So there are some issues with this one. You can see it. Okay. The other way is you can use scanf also. Scanf. So we want to read marks. So it is floating type, percentage of. So say and of. So we want to associate this one with the structure S1. So here also actually we have to write S1 dot. Okay, S1 dot marks. X1 dot marks. Okay. So we have initialized, we have read. So after that, let us try to print structure values, structure fields. So what is it? Percentage D. So for character array you have to use percentage S. Okay. Now percentage F for marks. So again S1 dot roll number. Remember, here we are associating all these things with S1. We are not making use of S2 at present. Okay, S1 dot roll number, S1 dot roll number, S1 dot name, S1 dot say marks. Okay. Now let us try to do compile and find out any issues. Compilation file. What is the reason? Let us check compilation file. What is the error? S1 error is S1 undeclared. First use in this function. There is some error. What is the error? Warning, error, unknown type name student. Oh, we have not, we had, that is a mistake. It should be struct. I typed it student. Struct. Again, there is some problem. Struct student S1, S2. Okay. S1 marks. Okay. All this is correct. What is the error? So it is not accepting. It is not accepting this initialization like this assignment to expression with array type. So you cannot do like this. It is not permitting. So next, what you can do is you can use scanf for this one also, because initialization of strings like that structures fields to the structure fields the system is not permitting. So what you can do, percentage s. So usually for array you don't specify this ampersand. Ampersand is not required. Let us check. So no problem. Okay, now let us print it. So it is waiting for the marks, say 90.5 or 90.6. No. It is first we have to read the what is that name. So it will be taken as name, but anyhow 90.6 is also a valid character array. So let me give only 35 marks. So structure fields 101, you can see 90.6, 35.0. Okay, here we are reading two fields. If you want more interactive, we can specify enter the name and marks. Okay, enter the name and marks. Build it, execute it. So enter the name and marks. Say Chenna, marks some 90.5. So what is roll number? We have initialized it to 101. The name is Chenna, and then the marks are 90.5. Okay, 90.5. So in the case of floating point, they are printed with default precision up to 6 digits. It takes up to 6 digits. Now we have done it. We have done that program. So I will show you this one also. We are not discussing strings. So whenever you give name like this, if you include spaces, it will not take correctly. Here in this case, it's unfortunate. What is taking is after space, it is taking Chenna for name. So after this one, if we specify some string, it is not accepting. The next field also it is not waiting, because it is expecting the values to be entered by you separated by spaces. So Chenna is taken as a name, and it is trying to read the floating point where we have entered reddy, which is a string, which is a character array. So that's why it is not accepting. It is taking it as zeros only. Let me show it again. I will just enter Chenna, and then I will enter some 80.5. So now it is taking. Okay, so we'll discuss what is the problem, how to enter the name with spaces also. That we'll discuss as part of the strings. So here our concept is structure. So this is how you declare. You assign values. If you want to assign directly, you can use the dot operator. So in the case of other way of giving the details, so if you want to use scanf, read using scanf, then you can as usual follow. But only thing is there will be structure variable name dot that field. Usually what we write and of marks, but here we are writing structure variable dot marks. So in the case of strings, actually the string name itself represents the starting address. So that's why we need not specify the ampersand You just remember that point, but we will discuss it as part of the strings. So this is regarding the structure reading. Now suppose you can see in the case of the structure, every field has its own memory. Suppose again this is union. If this is union, what happens? So the amount of memory that is reserved is only 20 bytes, and we are trying to store actually 28 bytes. Now the expected output is, you cannot guess actually. Let us see. It can be garbage. It can be garbage. So again, I will just enter name, marks. So now what happens? Structure fields, you can see. So some garbage is printed. Some garbage is printed. I will again change it to union to avoid confusion. Union fields. So we are printing roll number, name, marks. So roll number is assigned to 101. Roll number is assigned 101. Okay. So but it is not printing correctly. So let us try again. What is happening? So something is printed, and at the end 98 is printed. It seems the last field is printing correctly. Last field is printing correctly. So the what you have to do in the case of union is, don't try to store all the three fields at a time. It is not possible. It is not possible. It is not possible. Okay. You can store only one of the fields. You can store only one of the fields. Otherwise, you can't expect the output. The problem is, if you get the wrong output, you will avoid. But you get some unexpected output. That's the main problem. You get some unexpected output. So you cannot guess actually what is going to be printed. It may vary from system to system. Again, if you restart your compiler and then you do it again, then also you may get some error, some kind of output which doesn't match your expectations. So that is the problem with the unions. But they are used only when one of the fields is valid at a time. When one of the fields is valid at a time. And it is little tricky also sometimes. Let me change it. Let me change the order of the statements. Let me check, because we are getting marks correctly. Let me change this order. Now it is marks followed by name. Okay, marks followed by name. We are reading it. Now what happens? Because we are still we are printing marks only at the end, but we are reading name at the end. Let us check. Don't play like this. I am just experimenting. Okay, now marks followed by this name we have to enter. Now what is happening? Now you can see that last field which you have accepted as input, that is printing correctly. Remaining things, roll number is some garbage. So this marks is also some garbage. Marks is also some garbage. Marks is also some garbage. So that means only the last field will have a valid value. Now suppose I will do like this. Okay, what I am going to do is, I will just print this. Let me just, what happened? Okay. So what I am going to do is, let me just copy this one. So what I am going to do is I am going to read one at a time. First I am going to read s1 dot roll number, s1 dot roll number. What happened to that name reading? Is it gone? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm reading the s1 dot roll number and then I will print it. I will print it only roll number. Let me check. I'm just experimenting. So roll number I'm going to print. Next I'm going to read name. Say scanf percentage s1 dot name. I'm going to read it, and after that I'm going to print only that name, only name. Now let me check what happens here. Also I have to change because I'm not printing all. So here I am printing the string. So after that I will read. So scanf, I will read the marks. So percentage of ampersand s1 dot marks. Okay, next I am going to print that one. Then what happens? Let me check. Any issues? Let me compile. Okay, no issues, fine. So union fields 101, it is printing correctly. Okay, now I enter Chenna, union field Chenna is printing correctly, and some 87 marks. So all are printed correctly. All are printed correctly. So that means what you have to learn, what you have learned actually. So whenever that field is required, you assign value to that field or read the value using scanf, or there are also other functions. There are also getAs function like that. So using those fields, you are going to read. Okay. So read it, use it, and you can say throw it away. Throw it away. Okay. So if you require any field in a union, read its value, use its value, and after that neglect or throw it away. Don't try to use all the fields at a time. So this is regarding the union. Now what we can do? So we can manipulate also. So after reading the marks, say I want to add 5 marks, 2 marks. How do you do it? s1 dot marks plus 5. So you can write like this. So what I have done, I am just adding 5. I am showing just that you can manipulate the values also. Now let me write like this. What happens? Again, you can see that it is taking the next one also. This should not happen, but it is happening in this here. So Chenna. So 80, I will enter 80. So you can see 85 is printed. I have entered 80, but 85 is printed because we are adding. So you can manipulate like this. You can read, you can declare, read, manipulate, and then print. All the things we have done. Okay, all the things we have done. We have verified the sizes of structure and also union. Okay. Until now we have not done any serious programming. We are just actually illustrating the concepts. Illustrating the concepts. Illustrating the concepts. Okay, what we will do next, what we will do, maybe we'll take a break. We'll take a break actually. We'll come back and do something else. Extension of this one. We'll take a break.